And Senator Klobuchar is kind enough to join us now. Senator Klobuchar, thank you so much.
Thank you, Esme. It's great to be on.
All right, let me ask you, why behind closed doors? I think a lot of people want to hear what Donald Trump Jr. and Paul Manafort have to say.
Well, we think eventually there will be another hearing that will be public, but Chairman Grassley, Republican, and Senator Feinstein and a group of us decided what was most important is we get the documents first so we can look at them, and then we can ask some questions. That's fairly common with Intelligence Committee, sometimes Judiciary, where when they are working with us and we're able to get access to the information, you do that first, and then you have a public hearing.
All right, you're a former prosecutor. What are your questions? Because a lot of people have questions.
Well, I think people need to remember of all of this complexity, that this is really about our intelligence agencies having uncovered information that Russia tried to influence our election. And Republicans like Marco Rubio have said, you know, one time it's one party and one candidate, the next time it will be the other party. Our Constitution says that we are democratically governed in that individual citizens can vote, and we can't have foreign entities that influence our election. So that's what we're looking into. That's why the special prosecutor was put out there to do his job. That's why we have these investigations. So I think this is very serious. We have to get to the bottom of what happened. And meanwhile, we have to make sure that we're governing the country and that economic legislation is moving forward and other things that matter to the people of this country, which is why I've been working on prescription drugs and other things like that.
All right, well, let me ask you about that, because one of the things, it does look like there will be another, Senator McConnell, the majority leader, is going to get another vote on the health care bill, or it appears he's going to. Is there any avenue for Republicans and Democrats to try and work together to get a fix on Obamacare? And I know you've been also working on prescription drugs.
Yes, we have to. All over the country, we've seen issues with the exchanges, and we need to strengthen those exchanges. The Republican legislature in Minnesota worked with our Democratic governor, and we were able to come up with some ideas with something called reinsurance that leverages some of the risk, and we need to do that nationally. I said the day the Affordable Care Act passed, this is a beginning and not an end, and we need to make changes. We also need to do something about the price of prescription drugs, and it alarms me that the Republican bill coming out of the Senate right now that I don't believe will pass, because 3 Republicans have already come out against it, that bill wouldn't do anything about prescription drugs, and Affordable Care Act didn't do anything much about prescription drugs. So it is time to move. By McCain and I have a bill, my good friend John McCain, to bring in less expensive drugs from Canada. Senator Grassley and I have a bill to stop big pharmaceutical companies from paying off their competitors to keep cheaper drugs off the market. And then we have to unleash the power of 41 million seniors and let them bargain for lower prices under Medicare. Those are just a few of the ideas. Many of them have bipartisan support, so this must be a focal point, because insulin up 3 times the amount, EpiPens, you saw what happened last summer. It's outrageous. We have the most expensive drugs in the world.
All right, and you mentioned Senator McCain, and I know that you have worked with him, you have traveled with him, you have also worked extensively with his wife on human trafficking issues. This must be very difficult for people who are friends of the senators, and I know you spoke with him.
I did, and his humor is still strong. You have to be resilient when you've spent 5.5 years in a tiny cell in a Vietnamese prison camp, and that's what he did. I stood there with him and went to Vietnam and saw that cell. That's where he made the decision that he would allow other soldiers to be released before him. And the fact that he is facing the biggest battle of his life now, there's no one that's stronger, has stronger convictions than John McCain. So of course, our thoughts and prayers are with Cindy and Megan and his family, but mostly he's going to be back in the Senate. That's what he told me on the phone.
Any doubt about that?
No doubt about that. He has a defense bill he wants to get done.
All right. And Senator, I know that you wanted to talk about the Stillwater lift bridge, which was a bipartisan accomplishment. Representative Bachmann, then yourself, others who worked on this, both Wisconsin, Minnesota, bring it together. It's coming up.
Exactly. We're finally opening this bridge. As you know, Esme, that Stillwater bridge, 18,000 cars a day over a bridge that was built 31 presidencies ago. You have to go back to the Hoover administration. We are talking about a bridge that is often hit by boats. It's closed down. People roll down their windows when they go over it. It is not made for today, and that's why we worked so hard to get the exemption from the Scenic Rivers Act, which allowed this beautiful new bridge to be built, and it's going to be opening in a week or so, and we're pretty excited about that.
All right. Well, Senator Amy Klobuchar, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us
Thanks,
today.
Esme. It's great to be on.
Thank you, Senator.